Okay, I'm gonna do it now. Try not to judge me while I tell you this. Because I wouldn't do it again. I'm not that desperate anymore. But at the time I was really desperate, so you're just looking for different things to quench your thirst for sexuality. And I was also going through a breakup. So my 4-year relationship broke up with me while she was in Uganda. So I was also in like emotional stress and stuff. And that of course also, increased the level of frustration I was dealing with. And at the same time I was doing assignments because I was signed in for the University of the Free State already in South Africa. And I first wanted to do a Master's of Science in Research, which is a research degree, which means you don't have any exams. But as it turned out, my degree that I did in Germany wasn't enough to immediately do a Master's, because in South Africa you first do a bachelor degree, and then you do a Bachelor of Honors degree, and then you do a Master's. So the Bachelor of Honors is supposed to prepare you for the Master's degree. So it teaches you methods of like research and stuff, because that's just how it is. So what did I do? I applied for the Masters of Science, and then it turned out that, I wouldn't be able to do it straight ahead, so I had to do the Bachelor of Honors, which was 1 year. And although I didn't want to do that, I was then kind of forced by life to do the extra here, where I learned a lot about South African wildlife and also about research methods. And now that I did it, I was kind of happy, because also studying in South Africa was kind of nice. I liked the university life there, completely different. Like imagine going to uni and then having like different kind of environment, just different kind of animals. I mean, the Free State is a lot of grassland and stuff, but just to learn how South African universities work, like different kind of security measures, and I enjoyed it. But I only could, the course started already in January, and I was only to go to South Africa in May. And I was then granted to have the coursework sent to me, and I would then do assignments at home. And now the funny thing is, it doesn't really matter, but in a way it does, that, I passed quite good grades. And that's when I also started to realize maybe I'm not that stupid after all, because I always thought I was kind of stupid. But also, doing these assignments was also quite frustrating, because in a way I didn't want to do them, but I just did them anyway. And they turned out to be quite good, like some of them better than others. But just in general, I received quite good marks, and I was pleased, because also I had good education from Germany. You get trained quite well. Still, despite my setbacks that I have for the German schooling system, because they don't encourage people to have a free spirit, but it still taught me some form of discipline. But because I hated the system so much, it was hard for me to apply that. And so just going to South Africa and realizing how it is in other countries, just the basics I knew about presenting, for example. In South Africa, we did a presentation, and everybody was just reading from the slides. And I was the only one that knew everything by heart. I could just present, and I would just do it free speaking without looking at notes or something. And I was trained to do that. I don't know, just different kind of like, German people are quite like accurate and stuff. So it's not just the schooling system, it's also just the German mentality. And something I read the other day, or I listened to it, that what they actually tried was to destroy the spirit of Schiller, which is the free spirit, the hardworking spirit, the I question my reality kind of spirit. And Germany actually has that quite a lot. We are quite strong people. And they try to destroy that. And now it's coming back, and people like me are just proof of that they didn't manage to destroy it. They thought they did, but you can't break something like this. It's just the free man. And I am living proof that you cannot destroy this. Anyway, I also struggled through my own hell and stuff, and my emotional trauma. So in order to sit here, I had to do a lot of reflection. And I'm just avoiding telling you what I did that day. Because in a way, of course, we are always afraid to be judged. And then the question, of course, is, do I really have to tell this? It's just sometimes incredible what we do. And I feel like just get on with it and tell it. But it is kind of hard to admit things like this because people will judge you for that. But anyway, what I did was, because she had somehow a bed and 2 mattresses piled on top of each other. And somehow I would take a banana and I ate the contents, and I took tape and I put it around the banana peel. Like, don't try that, please. Unless you're desperate like me. And I would then put it between those 2 mattresses, and then I would relieve myself. And I only did that once. In a way I felt ashamed, but at the same time, what do you do when you live together with a woman and you have the feeling maybe she does send you sexual vibes? So maybe you feel a bit like the victim, right? Because she does send you these vibes, but she doesn't do anything about it. So maybe she's had it coming, I don't know. But I don't know why I do these things, or why I did them. Because I don't do them anymore. It's also why I would choose not to do them anymore. At the time I feel like I didn't really have a choice. I just had this temptation and the urge, and I just went through with it. I wasn't really, I don't know. Is it then that I wasn't aware? Because in a way I was. But I wasn't really myself in a lot of ways. Because when I first started watching porn, probably at the age of 16 or something, and I just found weirder and weirder things, which I would say it's actually not what my soul wants, so what wanted it. And then you end up watching like bestiality and stuff. And then you end up watching child pornography, which I did. At the age of 16, I was basically a child myself still. But that's just temptation. It's like open end. You're just spiraling deeper and deeper into shit. And that's not just your shit. That's just the shit of the entire society. Like, if you go into the depth of porn, you see shit that is awful. Like, really terrible stuff. Gangbang is just one thing of it. Bukkake and stuff. Why the fuck are we watching this? Women drowning in sperm. It's just rape. And we're watching at it. Like, this is the state of society. And as a child, you are born into it. And you don't know what you're doing. Because you're kind of ignorant and innocent. And then you start doing these things because everybody does it and you think it's normal. Until you one day wake up and say, what the fuck, this is not normal. Why am I doing this? It's like TikTok, it's terrible. People are watching this? They should stop. It's really awful. And then you always blame yourself. Oh, what is wrong with me? Why do I do these things? You know, I just took a banana and put it between two mattresses of somebody else while she wasn't home. And yeah, why? Because I'm frustrated. Because I've been trained to release my frustration sexually rather than doing it creatively. Because that's what means destroying the spirit of Schiller. Schiller is like creative mind with words, questioning things, right? Engaging in conversations, discussing, philosophizing. And then what happens, I'm sure in the age of porn, you know, Schiller wouldn't have been like he was. He would have just been a miserable shit, like stitching a banana together and putting it between two mattresses, because he would have been introduced to porn at a very early age. And that's what happened around the world. Like, people are given porn. Of course they don't want to get rid of this. Because it produces people that are depressed and easy to manipulate, because they don't realize what's going on anymore. They're disconnected with themselves. Because once you watch porn, you step with your little toe into a little bucket that's called sin. And the more and more you keep watching that to feel good, because this society doesn't want you to feel good, it wants you to feel shit and to do what you're being told, the more and more you're using porn and other kind of things like alcohol and movies to feel good, and the more you do that, the more you realize, holy shit, that bucket, you know, it's like dead end. I mean, I can sink into the whole bucket until I'm no longer able to discern who I am and who the bucket is. So then I think I'm the bucket, and I think I'm my addiction, which I'm not. It's just a feeling that the addiction gives me. Something that, you know, I could give to myself, and then I'm actually filling my cup instead of trying to give myself what I need through outside measures. And then, yes, you are going to become more and more of a pervert. Going to have perverted thoughts, and do all kinds of perverted things. But that's also what they're creating. And sugar is just one thing of it, and coffee is another one. It drains you. And it makes you want all these rushes, like, ugh, ugh. You know, try eating no sugar for 6 months. Try that. And then eat. Take a spoon with sugar and eat it, and see what it does to you. The next day you want it again. And that's addiction. I don't know why it is like this. Maybe because it has been designed to be like this. And that's why porn also, in a way, has been created by sick people, for sick people to watch it. So that's the real sickness. It's not stuff like corona. That's my opinion. It's not stuff like, I mean, the flu, I've said it already, I think it's healing. Sickness is watching porn. And then maintaining that sickness, you know, like a pet. Oh, I'm watching porn. And you get sick people out of this. That's not healthy, it's not wholesome, it's not healing. But it's wanted. Because they want you to grovel on the ground. Because as long as they grovel, they can, you know, because they're just the top of being evil. So actually as low as you can get. And then they drain us, sucking our energy. And we let it happen. So you have to make that choice. I don't want to be sucked empty anymore. And that's the choice you can make. And then you just start figuring out how it's going to be. It's going to be hard. Healing feels like shit. It's like that. You start to heal when you know how it feels to have the flu. And if I say that's healing, and you believe that it's healing, because it's energy running off of your system, and your body is showing this through signs of detoxification, because it has to leave somehow. And how does it leave? Through your urine, through your feces, through your sweat, through your nose, through your eyes, through your mouth, through your stomach. So it's like vomiting, snot, stuff like that. And of course you can resist it. But yesterday I spent the whole day outside and I knew I had to because it was wholesome, it was healing. And today I woke up, I felt like, oh shit, like I took a beating. That's how healing sometimes feels like you've taken a beating. It's just you're feeling there's change happening. And that feels like shit too sometimes. And that's why always I take first a warm shower and then I finish it completely cold. And I feel the difference. You know, the warm shower makes me kind of warm and cuddly. And then I do the cold just in the end. You know, I don't do like 60 seconds. I start with my right foot, cold. Then I go up until here. Then I do my arm. Then I usually do my face. And then I do my left leg. Then I do my left arm. And then I start going from here up, neck, and then my head. And that just brings the change, you know, it makes me a bit tougher, a bit tighter, but I still also can enjoy, as long as I want to, the hot shower beforehand. And then I do the cold. Like just doing cold is sometimes nearly impossible. So I like to do it first warm and then cold. And you can try that for a month and you just see the difference. Like it tightens you up and it activates your healing. You don't have to go just cold because that's just too much of a struggle. It's like drinking that coffee now helps me to record these videos. So I could have said, I'm gonna do it without it, but then I would feel like, I don't want it. So drinking the coffee is kind of boosting me, like, oh yes, you know, go for it. And sometimes you do something which you think, you know, it may be not as good. And like I said, you know, sometimes masturbation helped me to get work done. But it's a dead end. So you should rather do other things which are nice for you and leave that out of it. Like, no touching, no touch.